All right, good morning. Today we're going to talk about the SharpeSoft rounding sheet. So everything that pulls up from the bid will show up in the rounding sheet. And notice that there is these red numbers here. These are based on KPIs that we've set up in the defaults. We're not going to talk about that right now, but just know you could set up whatever parameters you want. If I were to run the report right now, which is the proposal report, without anything done in the rounding sheet, if I go reports, report tree, proposal. And again, many different options in the proposal. We'll talk about those in different videos. Notice that the proposal is 0 because we've done nothing in the rounding sheet. Your logo, your information, will go from there. So now we finished the job. We're ready to go. If I double check back, here's my summary sheet. I have a 13% G&A, a 10% markup, a $26,000 indirect cost, and a $1.6 million on our overall job. So with the zeros, I go to actions, reset the rounding sheet, and then action auto balance. And what this auto balance is going to do is based on the parameters that we've set up in the defaults, it will higher quantities will go out to 10 cents or 100 of a cent. But notice it's now rounded, and everything that is not those higher quantities is in a whole number. Our bid now is $1,629,000, again, based on the rounding. I could, for erosion control, if I click on this item here, it tells me what bid number I need to do to balance the bid. And so I might make this 8.30. And now my rounding sheet is off by $60. So if I wanted to run the proposal, these exact numbers here would show up in the proposal. So there's my bid after markup. There's my rounded price. You could do that all day long on standard bids. Now talking some strategies, let's just say I go to the summary sheet here. And what I want to do is I want to add a little bit more markup. Let's just say I want to have 10% on my labor, and I want to have 10% on my rented equipment. So that's an $80,000 change to our current job. So if I go to the rounding sheet here, we're off. After it runs itself through the rest of the markup, it's a $100,000 change. So just like we did before, I could go to any one of these unit numbers. If I go to the mass estimation here at 370, it tells me now I need to be at $4.20. So I could always come back in and go reset the rounding sheet, which zeros everything, and then actions auto balance from there. So now it's off a little bit because of the quantities. Now, some strategies that we have in the rounding sheet, the way that this is currently that I have my bid set up is kind of the order of operations. The first thing I'm going to do first is mobilization, erosion control, earthwork, concrete, the offsite sewer, and then the paving. So maybe what I want to do now is I want to take some of the money out of the paving and put it into my mobilization. So let's just say I want to be $65,000 in mobilization. So I've front loaded my job because I'm going to do that first. Now I want to lock that, but I want to take the money out of the rest of the job. So then I go actions, I'll reset the balance sheet. Notice the 65,000 that we put that money there stays the same. So if I go to auto balance now, it's going to readjust these numbers down below, taking out that number. I can clean it up a little bit. $54. So if I go $54, my bid is now off by $493. So we've taken money out of the back of the job and pushed it to the front. So now if I go to reports, report tree, proposal, and I'll just run it as it comes. Notice now we have $65,000 and then the rest of the unit numbers that are in the bid. One other option that we can talk about inside of the rounding sheet is what if all of a sudden, let's just take that the erosion control. So if I go to job and my bid items, maybe the erosion control now becomes an alternate bid. So I'm going to edit the group and I'm going to click it to be an alternate. Notice that shows up as yellow. That's a default color that you can have. So now if I go to my rounding sheet, that erosion control, I bid it, my cost is $7.20 right here, but I'm bidding it at $10. So now if it's an alternate, I may want to take that money out of my bid. I want to leave some money into it, but I want to push it back into my job because I want that margin still in my job. So there's that $59. So now my job's off by $6.58. I've created an alternate, taken some of my margin out, and then ready to run that new proposal. So there's many different strategies you can do in the rounding sheet to move money around. It's a way for you to balance or off balance your bid however you want, and keeps track of it down to the dollar. So notice we're tracking that erosion control as an alternate at that point, and a total without the alternate. So just in a real quick summary, if you ever need, F1 is the rounding sheet help, or you could email us at support. The rounding sheet helps you off balance and move money around your bid. You could take it from items that are alternates. You could take it from items at the end of the job and move your profit up to the front. So we're not funding general contractors' jobs for them. So thank you today. This was the SharpeSoft rounding sheet. Let us know what you think.